Number 16, Crash. Number 23, Afro Jamarai. Number 24, Hater. Number 26, Nayslayer. Number 50, Showtime. Number 51, Galian. Number 76, Grandpa. Number 106, Bombshell. Number 114, Alpha Vixen. Number 301, Blaxel Rose. Number 309, Raven Lunatic. I feel like there's too many skaters on this roster, but I'm just going to keep storming forward, and we'll make sure that we cover the actual ones who are skating. Number 357, One in the Chamber. Number 369, Stormy. He's out there. I saw him. 429, Lily of the Alley. And 732, Bonita Appleboom. That is the roster with probably some extras for Rolling with the Homies.
And for the role models, we've got .6, Skatenstein. Number 13, Hugs and Stitches. Number 25, Night Mary. Number 31, Sirius Pack. Number 38, Rubinator. Number 89, Apollo. Number 101, Hurricane May. Number 131, Muerta. Number 172, Peak. 611, Tears of the Lynx. 666, Lemony Stitches. 1114, Harmstrong Jr. Your co-captain for the team is number 95, Lightning. And your team captain is Mimi Mahler, number 22.
Ready to get underway. We've got Jams Bond on the jammer line for Rolling with the Homies, and that's going to be Harmstrong Jr. Number 1114 for role models here in the early going. Jams Bond quickly up towards the front. Junior still well in the back. Jams Bond out and clear. First lead jam of the bout goes to Rolling with the Homies.
Ooh, Junior takes a spill there, but gets back up and is in pursuit of the pack.
Jams is going to finish off that scoring pass. Junior jumped up and took off quick. Listening from the infield. Two interesting, purple and pink. I like it. Two bright, zesty colors.
Lovely combination.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like it's interesting when you have tournaments. You hear colors you don't hear shouted out often, like yellow. What? That is going to be Skatenstein at the jammer line for the role models.
And
is nicely covering up the one he's skating against. There we are. For the Rolling with the Homies is number 18. 16, that's Crash.
16, Crash, yes. It looked like an 18. Sorry about that. Ooh, we've got ourselves a drammer race here. And Skatenstein makes the wise decision to call that off.
Aha. So 16 is Crash. 18 is not Crash. I'm trying to see. He was skating for them earlier, and he had a taped up number on the back of his jersey. And
it looks like storming. Something storming.
No, that's not Stormy.
No.
I think we'll have to get the name on him. I cannot remember what his name is. But anyway,
what I'm
no,
seeing is 18.
He had a taped on 18 earlier.
Oh, okay.
Because 16 wasn't skating. We'll
Gotcha.
sort that out in a bit. I know
my
the
goodness.
chat will tell us what his name is, but that was number 18 for Rolling with the Homies on that jam.
Meanwhile.
Meanwhile, right now.
That looks like Apollo, if I'm not mistaken.
That is Apollo out and clear for Rolling with the Homies. Stormy is up to the front of the pack and dealing with a four-wall of defenders for role models. Now getting up, reestablishing, and spinning around that last blocker to get clear. Apollo having trouble at the back of the pack with the Rolling with the Homies back wall. A lot of action in that jam. Let's run down the officials real quick. We've got the head referee, Bender B. Rodriguez. Front pack, Infidel Castro. Back pack, Prince Albert. Your jam refs are Princess Leia and Belle Bruising. Your OPRs are Ruth Slater Ginsburg and McWinkle. Game executioner, Freya Hugs. Your penalty trackers are Lucy Fur and Abby Arsenic. Penalty box, Tiger Bomb and Scully Glossbones. Whiteboard, Baby Bat. Eyes are Impaler Swift and Meryl Streak. Scoreboard, Chase and Voorhees. Your runner is Debris. And your medics, Nacho Mama and Stabby.
And we've got Alpha Vixen and Lemony Stitches on the jammer line. Looks like Lemony Stitches is making a big play to get out first and is lead jammer. Alpha Vixen stuck at the back there behind some role models blockers as Lemony Stitches is coming around to score some points here.
Looked like Lightning, the queen at the back of the pack, that blocked Alpha Vixen off to the infield. Meanwhile, trying to get through the pack. At the front of the pack, watching the action full right in front of us, there was Apollo down towards the inside, getting a shove from Lightning and pushed on down the track to finish off that scoring pass.
And Lemmy Stitches is coming around for some more points here. Still got plenty of time on the jam clock to make that happen.
And now watching back in the pack and taking over as jammer. Taking over as jammer was number 15 for Rollin with the Homies. That's Kieran. All right, back up on the jammer line. Yeah, I was going to say, something happened with the roster there because that was, I believe that's their full, you got alternates down here, so yeah. This tournaments, you know, these things happen. We will get, hit us in the chat. Let us know, again, who number 18 is for Rollin with the Homies. We'd appreciate it. I had his name earlier because he had the taped on 18, as we do in tournaments. Anyhow.
Yeah, it looks like somebody did actually respond in Twitch. That's Global Storming, so.
That is the right name.
That is the right name.
He had a name on, like, it was like
I have
letters,
no idea.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
This happens.
It's okay.
At the first Roller Rage, we had Cat Daddy that skated for like 6 teams under 4 different names. They just gave him spare jerseys. He just kept joining teams. It was fabulous. It's a power jam for the role models, however, as Global Storming was brought down. Number 18, so there
that
goes.
Took 0 time to get out of the pack
Junior
there.
Out quickly on this power jam for the role models who just put 10 points on the board. Able to fight through that defense in the corner and get out. And there, once again, another quick pass through the corner. There's 27 seconds left. And Junior is making his way around already for another scoring pass. And blocked off, but the blocker comes off as well. So Junior gets up and continues on. Still 11 seconds to go. Able to rip off another quick scoring pass.
Yeah, Role Models Blockers doing a really great job of making some way for Junior to get through. So shout out to them. I believe one of them was Mimi Mahler, and it looks like the other might be Night Mary joining up forces, getting Junior through.
All right, confirming from the infield, that's the full 20-point power jam for the role models. We're going to have Skatenstein at the jammer line for the role models and Stormy for Rollin with the Homies. Yeah, thanks for scribbling that. That is Global Storming, so that name is now correct. It's been a day. Earlier he was
It has been a day.
He had a duct tape number earlier, so.
And speaking of a day, we already have a lead jammer.
That's Stormy. Once again, 369 out and clear for Rollin with the Homies.
But it looks like Skatenstein is coming up pretty quick here. Oh, big jump.
Stormy turned around, and the first thing he did after turning around was to give his blockers all the credit.
Absolutely.
You gotta love that. That was a sweet jump, and you know, everybody is so quick to be, what an athletic play. Stormy turns around and he dapped out his blockers going down the front straightaway. That's what I like.
You gotta give credit where credit is due.
Because they really did a great job of holding open just enough space for him to get through.
To make that happen.
I do. You know, it's good teamwork when you see the two halves of the team, you know, giving love like that.
Yes.
Giving love for the assist. So we have an official timeout here to talk things over. That was a 4-point jam with that slick coping jump. So 32-8 role models at the moment. Don't forget, as we mentioned, tomorrow, 9 a.m., we have 2 hour-long bouts and 2 2-hour bouts tomorrow in day 3 of Roller Rage.
Who's planning on being here tomorrow for all the action? Give a little woo, give a little wave, give it a little something. Nobody's going to be here. Nobody's saying anything.
Woohoo! Some people down
there we go.
Right.
you. All right, so we've got Global Storming, number 18, for Rolling with the Homies. And we have Apollo again for the role models, joining us on the jammer line.
And Global Storming went to the outside and then routed off to the infield quickly. Apollo racing around the outside to take lead jammer for the role models.
That was a sweet little move from Apollo there, right at the high, just kind of slipped on through. Global Storming have a little bit more difficulty because guess what? Mimi Mahler is right there. Apollo tries to squeak through again, gets bumped off, but it's back on the track, making their way around. Mimi giving a little push there, like, hey, go for it.
Global Storming able to tiptoe over that last blocker and get out of the pack. We'll try to cap this at a final scoring attempt for Apollo, heading through the pack. Gets around a sliding block and calls it off.
Another big jam for the role models. And on the jammer line for Rolling with the Homies, we've got Bond, Jams Bond, 007.
Jammer
And
for the role models, yeah. Lemony Stitches.
Yeah, Lemony Stitches.
Ended up being 9 points for the role models. We're just under 7 minutes to go until halftime. And Jams Bond out to the front, knocked down, trying to see, getting up, trying to still outrun those last blockers. Gets blocked off again. Wow, just got knocked down to the infield. Runs into a blocker that was on the infield, and we got those two skaters both back up at the back of the pack.
Yeah, Lemony Stitches.
Mimi Mahler adjusting the mouth guard in there. Yeah, I was going to say both skaters took a second to get up, so there must have been a heck of a collision back there. Still, both jammers fighting hard to get through the pack with 20 seconds to go on the jam clock. And Jams Bond, again, just about clear, blocked again. Goes down hard into the kick plate, slides down to the inside, waiting for a clear track to get up, and the clock expires. The star had just been passed to Hurricane May, but she never actually put it on, so never technically took over as jammer of record. Jams takes a spill coming down off the track.
Oh, and we've got an official timeout.
We do. There was a lot of action in there. There may be some penalties to sort out from that action. We will have to check on that going forward. So 5:41 to go until halftime. Role models 41, Rolling with the Homies 8 here in the early going. One of our tournament sponsors is Lost Dutchman Tattoo. They're a tattoo shop specializing in various styles from realism to traditional. You can also customize your own tattoo. Walk-ins are always accepted. I'm a happy customer as well and will happily take my shirt off to show you my tattoo. It's on my bicep. I don't have to take my shirt off, but I will because I like to. The shop is located at 4121 North 19th Avenue. That's the east side of 19th Avenue, just north of Indian School Road.
Okay, Clifton, so now I'm actually really confused because in the Twitch, people are saying that number 18 is actually Juke.
Juke, see, that's what I thought.
Okay,
so he's wearing Global Storming's
Yes.
jersey. I thought it was a 4-letter name that started with J. See, that's how my
there
brain
you go.
stores things.
Okay, you were right.
But I was going to say Jake, and I was like, no, I don't think it's Jake.
Nope.
I think there's an ASU skater named Jake from
We're
State
getting
Farm.
Juke from Twitch. A couple different people are saying Juke, so I think we stand corrected. I stand corrected anyway.
There we
you
are.
You were right.
There we are. I was close. Anyway, that is Stormy, who is out and clear for Rolling with the Homies. And this is a Rolling with the Homies power jam when it's all said and done. We got so distracted trying to figure out who number 18 was. This is Stormy out there all by his lonesome.
The role models are not making this easy for them, though.
No, absolutely not. Bounces off a blocker and falls off. I heard the bench say 30 seconds to let Stormy know he's got time to get around, but the role models are trying to keep that pack moving. Looks like they're trying to goad one of them in the back of the pack. Stormy
Got a
catching
couple,
up.
let's see, it looks like Lightning, the Queen, and Hurricane May at the top. Oh, that was an interesting move by Hurricane May, shoving Lightning into one of the homies there. A lot of bumping and shoving going on right there.
And for Rollin with the Homies, they do get all 10 of those points, all the points on the last scoring pass. So, 10-point power jam for Rollin with the Homies. It is 41-18. Be about 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first half.
And we've got Junior and Alpha Vixen on the jammer line.
Number
Junior kind of takes a
and
straight
number,
approach there, right through the pack.
Number 114 and number 1114.
Yes.
Right. We only need Slappy Go Lucky, number 11D4. We'd have a heck of a jam.
And we have an 1187 too.
There goes Junior, out and clear for the role models. Alpha Vixen up towards the top of the track, kind of forced down to the infield by Mimi Mahler. And those two at the back of the pack for Rollin with the Homies got tangled up twice.
As Junior's coming around for a scoring pass here. Traveling along the high there, but meets up with one of the homies who's not real good with the idea of them getting by.
Junior weaves through the pack. There's 6 seconds left, so Junior probably not enough time to get back around to the pack, and he also senses that. And the clock runs out as he is approaching the pack in the back straightaway. Ends up being 10 for the role models. This is going to be Skatenstein for the role models.
And Jams Bond for the homies.
And Skatenstein right into Jams right off the bat. Knocked her off balance. She took a hard tumble down to the infield. Skatenstein is out and gone. For the
Jams Bond, though, is not, working real hard to get out of that pack there. Takes a little bit of a tumble, repositioning as Skatenstein's coming around.
And we have...
Oh, we lost a star. We lost a star. Star lost.
Indeed lost a star. Jams Bond gets up and grabs said drop star, puts it back on. Took a second to get up. Jams has taken a beating trying to get clear of that pack. Now they do pass it ahead, so this time it does in fact get past. And that gets handed forward to number 15, Kieran. Now trying to catch up to the pack, force the call off, racing up to the back of the pack. The crowd and the bench are yelling for Skatenstein to call it off. We will see if Rollin with the Homies got a point on the back end, and they did. Rollin with the Homies get a point on the back end with the pursuit. 9 points for the role models. We got number 18. I know, the number looks real nice. And now we know the right name. It's Juke. Juke, number 18.
And Apollo for the role models.
I like that earlier the name was right, and now the number's right. And
yes.
You know what? We were 50% right both times.
Everything is right with the world now.
2 wrongs do make a right. They're asking for one more purple blocker.
Yeah, we've got some chatter, some personnel changes here, position changes.
Pivot for role models, repositions one of the blockers right off the bat, and they tried to get an opening for Apollo, cannot get her clear, and getting out and clear is Juke, number 18. So out and clear for Rollin with the Homies. Apollo's still not out, still in the back of the pack and behind 2 blockers. The 2 blockers, I should say. Right, those 2 blockers are doing the work of 4 at the moment. And
Apollo
finally,
squeaks by, but it looks like Juke is kind of stuck there by some good role models blocking. A little bit of a 3-wall here, and calls it off.
Excellent individual blocking in the front end by the pivot for Rollin with the Homies. That was number 106, Bombshell. Kept that jammer in for Rollin role models as long as possible. Ends up being 5 points for Rollin with the Homies. So 60-24. This very well could be the last jam of the first half. We have about 20 seconds to go when this whistle blows. 21 seconds to go.
We've got Lemony Stitches and Alpha Vixen on the line.
Lemony Stitches bumped off to the infield. Alpha Vixen knocked down to the track. Both of them up to reestablish. And Lemony Stitches out first for the role models.
Alpha Vixen still at the back of the pack there, contending with some role models blockers.
And fighting through the pack, finishing off that scoring pass, is Lemony Stitches. We have had the star passed forward to the pivot, Crash, number 16. And getting through, I hear a cheer for Lemony. Lemony getting through the pack on another scoring pass with 8 seconds left and is going to be trying to get back to the pack again. 3 seconds, 1 second, and gets there. Did not get all the way through the pack, but got there. That takes us up to halftime. We will check on the points from the infield. It ends up being a 13-point jam for Lemony Stitches to take us up into the halftime break. So we'll step aside for our last 5-minute halftime of the afternoon evening. It is going to be role model 73 rolling with the homies 24. read to you. Don't forget, you can hop onto the Arizona Derby Dames website, ArizonaDerbyDames.com, and under ticketing, you can purchase a shout-out to be read on the air and hear over the arena loudspeakers. This one just dropped in. It's from Jessica Wishard, and it says, "You got this, Junior. Let's go, role models. The Harmstrongs are cheering for you." Well, all right. The officials are talking some stuff over as we get ready to go here. Kind of just waiting and kind of gauging and see. I feel like the second I start a sponsor spot, this is going to break up. But hey, you know what? Rhea Riot Tattoo also we would love to talk about. Tierney is a tattoo artist who had a traditional apprenticeship, an education not only of the traditional folkish art form, but also in the education of the craft, including building machines and needles and the history of the old workers' ways. This connection to the history of tattooing builds a deep respect for tattooing itself. Tierney is a native-born Phoenician whose life has always included creating art, with tattooing being which she's become most passionate about. Don't forget, your ability to get tattooed, I believe, will continue tomorrow. We will have to see. Tierney skates with Clowntown as Skimbleshanks the Railway Cat, so I know they will probably be here tomorrow still. Have to check in on that. But yeah, several people got matching tattoos today over there getting flash tattoos. How much fun is that?
Oh, that's pretty cool, yeah.
Okay, back to it here in the second half. That's going to be Junior, who just got a shout-out on the Jammer line for role models, but...
And Stormy, who just took off like a shot there for the homies, coming around for a scoring pass as Junior breaks free of the pack. Stormy, weaving their way through, meets up with Mimi Mahler.
Stormy runs into at the end of the pack there and swung that hip around to hopefully get that point. We will check from the infield and confirm, and did indeed. So 4 points for Stormy to start the scoring here in the second half.
And on the line, we've got Skatenstein and Kieran.
And Skatenstein, again, right off the line, directly into the jammer, opposing him, and takes off. Trying to play some jammer defense, and then is able to get clear and get out of the pack.
Kieran's still looking for a way out right now as the role models are trying to set something up as far as defense. Goes up against, I believe that's Hurricane May, yes.
And at the front of the pack is Muerta and Hurricane May also.
Yeah, role models' defense is pretty strong. Oh,
Kieran
now we've got
able to get out, and now we've got Junior trying to get in there and get that jammer point.
Oh, Kieran takes a tough fall there.
And Junior able to knock Kieran off to the infield, got him twisted around, and he took a hard fall down there up against the coping in the far turn. Put that star cover back on and went on to proceed and force the call off. Role models put 8 on the board during that jam.
Now we've got Juke for the homies and Apollo for the role models. Jamming as we wait the whistle. Apollo just slinks by everybody and just gets out as lead jammer. Juke having a little bit more trouble, taking a stumble there, but is out, following Apollo. Oh, Apollo slips through the pack and calls it off immediately.
Four more for the role models. They're going to send, they're going to send Lemony Stitches to the jammer line.
And Stormy's out there for homies.
Everybody's looking, and Freya Hug says go. Stormy, once again, just wow, right off the line.
Right out of, yeah.
Yeah, rocketing right past.
Yes, I was just going to say, just like a rocket.
Yeah, before.
Lemony Stitches is working real hard there at the back. coming up with some opposition, but it looks like Lightning the Queen made a little bit of a hole. Oh.
We just had a skater fall head first out of the track and then get back in and continue. That was your jammer for the role models doing so. Of course, that was Lemony Stitches. Just got blocked. Went, took a good look at the stairs over there and then pulled herself back into the track and kept going, much to the cheering of the crowd. Stormy finishing off a scoring pass by getting Lightning the Queen pushed way out of play.
Yeah, props for Lemony Stitches for taking that kind of a fall and getting right back up again.
It's not a roller rage until somebody falls out of the rink. I'll tell you what.
Exactly. That's why the yellow line is there. Stay behind it.
Lemony Stitches up into the pack and blocked back. Stormy is going to get in there. A bunch of skaters down. I hear a jammer penalty, and we will see who it was on. I heard of that's your jammer, and at the moment, both jammers think it's on them, so do we have a double jammer down? No, we are switching jammers. So, power jam for Rollin' with the Homies. That's what we were doing.
And Duke's going to go ahead and take this one, so we got a power jam for the Homies.
It is indeed correct. So, role models and Rollin' with the Homies have all their blockers, a full pack otherwise. Duke manages to get through, gets around that pivot for Rollin' with the Homies. Gets out with 51 seconds remaining on the clock at the time.
Role models trying to set up a little bit of defense there at the back to stop Juke, take some seconds off of that jam clock. Juke does a pretty good job of just sliding through, though.
Yeah, able to get past that blocker on the rail and then did so quickly enough that Lightning wasn't able to close the door. So there's 26 seconds left in this power jam. Juke's going to try to get 2 for 1. Collides at the back of the pack hard with that blocker who just absorbed that contact. That was Mimi Mahler back there. Really took a heck of a hit.
Yeah, I've actually called a couple of the role models games today, and I have to say Mimi Mahler has definitely been on point, as usual.
Of course. Out there now, still helping direct traffic. And jam clock comes to a close. Ends up being a 2-point power jam for Juke. Excellent defense on that power jam by the role models. Juke got out quick, and then they did not let him finish a scoring
Absolutely,
pass.
Yeah, they really did a great job with that. The power jams can be so devastating to the score, but not this time.
That's going to be junior for the role models.
And James Bond, I knew I was going to slip up on that for the Homies.
Jams is up to the front and managed, stayed upright. Kind of tiptoed around.
Jams fought their way through that and got out his lead jammer. That's awesome.
Quite a feat. And Jams is slowly back to the track, back to the pack, and was honestly had a hand down on the hip. That may have been an awkward turn. Now getting pressed back into it, is going to get up into the pack and call it off. Yeah, we'll have to see. The Jams obviously now has a couple fingers up trying to call for points, so obviously feeling okay. Jams, well, we'll see. 1 second. After the scoring discussion, ends up being no points awarded to Rollin' with the Homies. And I see a motion from the bench that would suggest that, are they going to, well, does not look like it. And we're ready to go. The opportunity to challenge has passed. That is Skatenstein for the role models.
And Alpha Vixen for the Homies. Both jammers kind of tied up there together in the pack. Looks like Alpha Vixen's making a move to be lead jammer.
Good block on the front end there. Hurricane May.
Yeah, meanwhile, Skatenstein's just making their way around, kind of come up from behind, surprised everybody. Alpha Vixen's still working there towards the back. Sliding onto the infield, coming back as Skatenstein's making their way around.
Star's been passed forward at this point. Your pivot is taken over and is way out in front. Spinning around and fighting through. Taking over is Jammer. That's number 309 for Rollin with the Homies. Raven Lunatic. And Raven Lunatic putting the hammer down and trying to stay in front of Skatenstein and not surrender that jammer point. And did not. 94-39 role models in front at the moment. 7 minutes to go in regulation. We're going to have a blocker coming up and then turned away. This is Apollo for the role models. Stormy for Rollin with the Homies once again. Stormy's had good success so far. Is going to try to play some defense off the line here and gets pinned to the rail this time.
Apollo's doing some fancy footwork for the role models there, trying to get their way out. Stormy once again kind of zipping through.
There goes Stormy once again, as we mentioned. So Stormy's had very, very good success from the jammer line for Rollin with the Homies throughout this bout and all day long, frankly. Apollo blocked off to the infield. Excellent work on the front of the pack. Stormy looks back, calls out a signal to his pivot, it looked like, and his blockers as he takes on through. And your jammer for the role model still not out. The Star is stashed at this point, I believe, as Stormy finishes off a scoring pass. Yeah, it looks like the pivot okay, yeah, there we are. The pivot has taken over, or was going to take over, ends up zipping on by. Mimi Mahler would be getting ready to take over as jammer of record for the role models. A lot of moving parts to watch in that one. Taking a look, like I said, a lot of moving parts. And I don't see anybody sitting in the penalty box. So a lot of moving parts, but managed to skate pretty clean, right?
There you go. And we've got Juke on the line for Homies, and it looks like we've got Lemony Stitches for the role models. Oh, wait.
Now there a late penalty getting reported in, and down comes Juke. So it was an 11-point jam for Rollin with the Homies, making it 94-50. But they are now going to surrender a power jam, and here comes Armstrong Jr. out to the jammer line for the role models. Next year they can't play each other.
No, all that roll,
Sorry.
all that rolling. Yeah, rolling, roll.
Everybody, roller derby teams named Roll. I get it. So cute.
And Junior's out of the pack on this power jam.
Here is Junior heading down the front straightaway. I hate when I make the scoreboard laugh. I'm like, no, don't listen to me. Junior waving around the outside and manages to duck through. Finishing off that scoring pass. 37 seconds left on the role models power jam.
Pack's trying to pull together a couple of things here to stop them. Little two-wall there happening with the Homies. Trying to take up some precious seconds off that jam clock.
And that was interesting. 106 there trying to do blocking on the end, got called out of play and just kind of ripped himself around the other blocker to not be called for, obstructing the progress of the jammer. They're going to go up there now. Junior is try to do battle again with that two-wall. And ducks to the inside. Wow, quick move. Got up there, kind of stared that pivot in the eyes, and then just ducked to the inside with a quick first step. And the jam clock is going to expire. That will push role models up over 100. Let's see how much. OPR's reporting in something.
And we've got about 4 minutes left in the bout. And yes, well over 100 it looks like.
15-point power jam for Junior and the role models. That does push them up over 100, 109-50. Juke is now going to get a shot to go out there and jam for Rollin with the Homies, and is going to go up against Lemony Stitches. Lemony is up to the front of the pack, twists around, gets around the last
takes
blocker.
lead jammer. Juke is still struggling a little bit with some of the role models there, but does break free. Lemony Stitches is coming around, maybe hoping to score a few points before Juke makes it up there and calls it off.
Lemony gets through the defenders at the back of the pack, gets the points and calls it. points for the role models. Back on the jammer line for Rolling with the Homies is Jams Bond. That's good to see. Obviously, I had seen her grabbing at her leg as she went by after that pirouette. But
I saw that
the
too.
Damn strong,
yeah.
and now back out there after a couple jams off. So that's wonderful to see Jams Bond back out there at 100%. And
These
Apollo,
players are tough. They're
the role
tough.
model.
They
Oh,
wouldn't
you
be
know
doing it if they weren't.
Yeah.
James Bond getting tied up there a little bit by some role models by the rail.
Good defense on the front of the pack also by Rolling with the Homies. Once again, 106 up there doing work at the front of the pack for Rolling with the Homies. That's Bombshell. Apollo finally gets out, but after much frustration and baffling by those defenders for Rolling with the Homies.
Yeah, James Bond is trying to get past that 3 wall of role models back there.
And they're going to do it again at the front of the pack. Once again, Bombshell and Kieran kind of eating up Apollo and knocking Apollo down towards the inside. Those two defenders again.
Some very fancy footwork.
Now Apollo's going to get a hand from a blocker. Getting in there to clear somebody out of the way was Junior. And Apollo now gets through just as Kieran takes the star, breaks loose, and takes over his jammer for Rolling with the Homies. And we're going to have a timeout of some flavor before the game continues. Got an official timeout with 1:42 to go in regulation. 5 points for role models.
Thank you, Freya.
I know we're married, but that's for you.
Is that for me?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I feel so darn privileged right now.
I don't get air kisses and hand hearts. I get, why did you forget to wash my jacket? It's cold today. No. Honestly, I was the one that was sitting here this morning going, I'm so cold.
Oh.
Freya was keeping warm. Freya's out there blowing the whistle. That gets your blood pumping.
Absolutely. And all the yelling. There's lots of yelling.
Yes.
That gets it going, too.
There's lots of yelling. We have, again, just under 2 minutes to go in regulation. Your last bout of the evening here at Day 2 of Roller Rage 2025. Stay tuned to all of the Roller Rage social media. I'm certain, will be updating this evening with the lineups for tomorrow. Your officials also will find out what the lineups are for tomorrow. That also, of course, depends on who's skating and when. So the officials will also find out their duties as well. I am excited for tomorrow. It has been competitive throughout. Everybody has appointed themselves well. I loved seeing Uinta here. I love seeing new teams that I have not seen before that come through, especially in Roller Rage. And so every year I feel like we see new teams that have formed. And it was great to see Uinta come in here. And like I said, the important thing is just making it. When you're a new team, obviously getting off the start. Castro was saying, yeah, he had to create a logo for them. So he believes they must be pretty new. And again, like I said, it's really great to see a team like that. You show up, compete, just get your toe in the water, and travel.
And have some fun with it.
Yes.
Meet some new people, learn some new things.
They had several of our home team skaters filling out their roster, I saw.
Yes, I did see that too.
Dead Bugs Bunny.
Yep.
Motion Sickness. Motion Sickness just graduated from our rookie program here. That's number 5 for Uinta. Motion Sickness was subbing in for them. Just graduated from our rookie program here and just joined the Doomsday Valkyries. And was out there jamming, appointing themselves very well.
Absolutely. They did a great job.
Yeah.
And they were having so much fun doing it, too.
Yep. And I mentioned, too, I said Bugs had several great jams. I said it was really great to see those skaters that were out there helping fill out that team and competing with this all-star lineup and honestly holding their own. I really liked watching it. Uinta and them both. I really loved seeing both of those two different entities competing together. We are back to the action. And minute 30 to go in regulation.
Yeah, we've got Juke and Skatenstein out there. There we go. Skatenstein.
I know.
Is our lead jammer.
You're allowed to be tired. We're at hour 24 of Derby. Juke is gonna try to jump over Mimi Mahler, and Mimi said knocked him off onto the infield. He gets up and goes on a round though. Skatenstein is going to be in behind Juke. Juke's going to drift in and out and just kind of gamely keep
just watching each other, gauging each other.
Yeah. Yep. And then now Juke takes off. Skatenstein kind of puts up his hands and mock.
And there we go.
Are. Skatenstein just put the hands up in the old, I'm going to go ahead and do this thing.
And it looks like this could be the last jam of the game.
Absolutely could be. We'll have to see. There's an outside chance. It's Apollo and Stormy. We've seen this matchup before.
And Apollo on the line for the role models.
Full pack out there. Nobody in the penalty box. That was just a nice, easy jam. Jam gets underway with 22 seconds left on the regulation clock. Stormy is going to get up to the front first as Apollo gets dumped at the back of the pack. And Stormy, wow, with a quick pirouette, spins around and keeps going. Stormy,
Apollo's hot on the trail here.
Apollo takes off as well and is really going to get those arms going. Apollo's putting it into drive. Stormy is looking at the crowd and waving at somebody, I believe, is going to weave through, gets up and calls it off. Great awareness of exactly where the second jammer was on the track. That was perfectly timed. No, it wasn't. Was it? We got one. There we are. Thank you. Got 1 point for Stormy and no points for role models. It took me a second. See, I forgot who was who over there. So, well, anyway, we did get that 1 point for Rollin with the homies. Hard-earned point, but again, what a great call-off. Let's check and see if there's going to be a penalty jam or 3 or 4, you never know. Or if this will take us up to the end of the bout, and that's going to do it with that final whistle right there.
That's it. Role models do it.
Your final score, role models, 122, Rollin with the homies, 51. That's going to do it. That is your last regular tournament game of Roller Rage 2025.
What a great day.
Hasn't it? Both days in several super close bouts that came down to the last couple of jams. So exciting to have been here. We will be back. We will be back tomorrow morning live on the air and live here at the Hall of Dames at 9 a.m. Like I mentioned, just keep it in the back pocket, but if you live in that part of town where you would be interfered with by the Rock and Roll Marathon, factor that into your travel time tomorrow if you're planning to be here anytime before like 11. That being said, if you have filled your souvenir cup one too many times tonight, don't